Well, good morning, everybody. It's really a pleasure and a privilege to welcome everyone in the room here today. And such distinguished guests too, my goodness. We have representatives here from Housing Nova Scotia and Service Nova Scotia, the Department of Community Services, and we have Spencer House members, we have members of the media. So welcome to you all on this very welcome and happy occasion. My name is Mark DeWolf. I'm the chair of the board here at Spencer House, and I want to say just a brief word about community. It's an interesting word, community, and a good concept. When you think about it, community has a warm feeling, which is probably why so many organizations like to use it. But think of it as something like a woven piece of material, a whole bunch of little threads woven together to form what we call a community. And then those communities get together and are put together into larger communities, and then still larger ones, just as Spencer House, which is a community of its own, a small but very active and almost all of the time welcoming and friendly community, is part of the wider community of Halifax, and then the wider community of Nova Scotia, and so on. And we're a piece of this wider and wider community made up of little communities, much as a piece of a quilt makes up that quilt. And I'd like you to think of quilts for just a second. Quilts made up of all these little pieces. What are they? They're warm, comforting, protective. Some of them are very interesting. And if you love it enough, it can be quite a treasure. Spencer House, we like to think, is one of those little treasures. But we also have a treasure here in Nova Scotia. And to keep a quilt in good shape, keep it from fraying or getting holes in it and so on, you need someone or people, department, to keep the quilt operating, working, and together as it should be. Tasked with that responsibility, we have the Minister of Service Nova Scotia, the Honourable Mark Furey, here with us today. He will be speaking to you about something that the government is doing to keep our quilt in good shape, and perhaps even better shape. Minister Furey, before he entered politics, was served in the RCMP, so the rowdier members of Spencer House had better watch their step this morning. He has three responsibilities in Stephen McNeil's cabinet. He is the Minister of Business, the Minister responsible for Business Nova Scotia Incorporated, and Service Nova Scotia. And it's in that role that he's come to speak to you today. I ask you to give him a warm Spencer House welcome.
Thank you very much, Mark, and what a pleasure to be here this morning to join so many local community members. I really value Mark's explanation of the quilt and the many colors and components that make up such a beautiful piece of work. I come from the South Shore and very familiar with a number of communities where quilt making is very alive and very popular, and it truly does represent the fabric, the weaving of so many fabrics and threads, and how that finished product really is so impressive. And Mark, your analogy to community and reference to Spencer House, I think, is a great example, a great testament of the work that you and your board do, the volunteers, to provide such a valuable service to the seniors population within our community. So thank you for the work that you do. I want to thank everyone for joining us here this morning as we launch the Heating Assistance Rebate Program for 2015-2016. We as a government certainly recognize the financial burden that comes from home heating, especially with the extreme cold winters that we've experienced lately here in Nova Scotia. And today I'm pleased to launch the start of the HARP application process once again. This is a very popular program, reaching about 44,000 individual Nova Scotians last year, individuals and families, literally from one end of the province to the other. although the program continues to reach thousands of eligible individuals and families, we want to reach even more Nova Scotians this year. And that's why it's important for each and every one of us to spread the word about HARP, the Heating Assistance Rebate Program. We want to make it as convenient as possible to apply. Not only are we sending out about 44,000 pre-populated application forms to those who received HARP last year, we have expanded the availability of the opportunity to apply. HARP applications are available online. They're available by calling our Public Inquiries phone number and have an application form mailed. They're available at all of our Access Nova Scotia centres across the province, each and every one of our Department of Community Services offices, and each and every one of the MLA offices across the province. And they're also available through more than 70 community groups and organizations, resource centers that offer a broader distribution of the particular form, the application, and the opportunity to participate, including right here at Spencer House. The application forms are being sent to these locations now, and I anticipate they will arrive within days. The amount of pre-populated forms make up a significant mail-out, and I'm glad we could share this opportunity to promote our initiatives for all Nova Scotians. Working closely with Housing Nova Scotia, we were able to include some information about how they can help eligible families, seniors, and persons with disabilities to make their homes safer and more accessible. And I want to thank Dan Troke for joining us at our launch today to talk about Housing Nova Scotia and the good work they do to help seniors and homeowners stay warm and safe in their own homes. We will continue to work together to look for ways to reach out to Nova Scotians about heating and housing programs. Last year, government started using an online and social media approach to reaching more Nova Scotians about HARP, and we're continuing with that approach this year. Next year, it's my hope that we can continue to improve the convenience of applying by implementing a way for people to submit an application directly online. I know my colleagues within Service Nova Scotia shudder when I continue to ask their abilities to expand on the accessibility and ease of access to government. And this is one area where we are focused. So I'm hopeful that next year we will be able to offer not only the online application, but the ability to complete the application in full online. This is part of Service Nova Scotia's digital strategy to make it easier for Nova Scotians to interact with government. I've said in the past, in many environments, we're an analog government in a digital world, and there's an absolute need for us to transition to ensure that our services are both effective and efficient. For now, my message is to all Nova Scotians to promote and spread the word about HARP. Together, we'll make sure that everyone who is eligible has the opportunity to take advantage of the Heating Assistance Rebate Program, as well as other initiatives to make their homes safer and more accessible. I'd like to thank each and every one of you here today for joining us, including the team here at Spencer House, for hosting us today. Mark, thank you very much for helping us spread the word about this great program that so many Nova Scotians are able to benefit from. We greatly appreciate how the community organizations and their members take on such an important role in spreading information about services that help individual Nova Scotians and help build strength and capacity and cohesion, as you relayed in your example of the quilt, in each and every one of our communities. So thank you again, and I look forward to the opportunity to chat following our discussions this morning. Thank you very, very much.